Hey guys, Lewis here, and Jason's also here. We're doing
Hello.
we're doing more Hearthstone stuff, but it's not fun with friends. It's review with friends.
Yeah, this was my idea. We decided I asked Lewis if he wanted to review the newest pack, The Whisper of the Old Gods,
Yeah,
and he's like, sure. So we're sitting here reviewing the new cards. So
yeah,
first we're going to be doing the class-specific cards.
yep. And it should be noted that it is April 26th. It's pretty late, as you can probably see in the timer down below. But
Hmm.
yeah, this is release day. Been having a
Yep.
pretty good time with it. The new standard format is in, and let me say the standard format sucks. I hated it because it was just shaman, overload aggro, and control warrior the whole time.
I haven't played it yet. I literally just opened my new packs and I started recording with Lewis. I didn't even look at what I got.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, for those of you, I mean, any of you who played Hearthstone, I'm pretty sure you know by now. But Whispers of the Old Gods, they came with free cards that everyone pretty much got, which was Cthulhu and what were the other two? The
I don't
Beckoners.
remember.
I think it was
Think
the
so.
Beckoners. But anyway, they gave you the free cards there. They also gave you an additional free Whispers of the Old God packs. And if you do
Yep.
the standard format quests, you beat 2 players, you get an additional 5 packs. You beat 7 players in standard, you get an additional 5 packs. So that's 13 free packs and 3 additional cards for Whispers of the Old Gods.
Yep.
And add on to that, I think I opened a total of 79 packs, I think. Yeah, that's about right.
I hope it's 17.
It's still
So far,
something.
anyway.
It's still something. Plus, you still got to add on the 10 packs from the quest.
Right.
Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the class specifics here. We'll do neutrals in another episode if it goes on too long.
Yep.
All right, Jason, since this was your idea, hashtag Jason's idea, why don't you start off?
All right. So for the first card we have is Forbidden Ancient, a 1 mana 1/1 that has Battle Cry. Spend all of your mana, gain +1/+1 for each mana spent. I think this was the card I mentioned that I think would go beautifully with a Brand Bronzebeard sort of combo deck.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I also talked about, well, I no, I was talking about it with myself when I opened up the pack anyway. Um,
Hmm.
I thought it would be really interesting if you managed to pull this off your top deck after you managed to like innervate Astral Communion, and then all of a sudden you're
Yeah,
top decking 10 mana for this thing.
I was thinking this would go great in like Astral Communion sort of decks too.
Yeah. So
Would be a
far,
lot of fun.
I've had a little bit of experience going up against some of these cards, so I've been seeing some pretty cool combos so far and a lot of good uses. Although some of them
Hmm.
seem to be overpowered, though. So
Yeah.
we might be seeing some nerfs from the Nerf Hammer from Blizzard, because Blizzard
Yeah.
loves the nerf. Anyway, moving on. Next up is the Mark of. I'm gonna mispronounce everything really.
Me too.
Yasharj?
It's okay.
Mark of
Yeah.
Yasarj. So you give a minion +2/+2. If it's a beast, you draw a card. So it does go on with the whole druid beast synergy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of Druid Beast sort of thing, so I'm glad that they might be able to get more play.
Well, I mean, you tend to see it with like druid of the claw, druid of the snake.
Right.
Fang, I should say. And a lot of beast cards are mostly druid cards, so you tend to see it
Yeah.
with that.
All right. All right. So next we have the Addled Grizzly.
Hmm.
3 mana, 2/2 beast. After you summon it, give it +1/+1. So it's basically just a 3/3 minion that's a
Yeah,
beast
pretty
for
much.
Druid.
I mean,
I mean,
it's kind of
that's
strange.
average.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, really. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You get the +1
Right.
+1 buff just for playing it, and it's a
Yep.
beast. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Nothing too amazing.
yeah, I mean, it'll be good for beast decks, but I think you could probably
Yeah.
graze over this for something better.
Right.
Now, moving on to the next card, I saw a lot of this card in the standard play, and it's pretty good. For free mana, give your hero +4 attack or gain 8 armor. That's huge for free mana.
3 mana, yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
say.
I managed to coin out I think a 2/4. I can't remember what I played, but I coined out a 2/4, and then it's like, oh, That's a nice 2/4 you got there. Feral Rage.
Yeah.
And I mean, 8 armor, that's nothing to laugh at. That's 8 armor right there.
No. That's an ice barrier right there.
And all for free mana.
Yeah.
Now, this is this next card that you're about to do is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, see this card I mentioned. It's called Fandral Staghelm. It's 4 mana. It's a 3/5. It's a legendary that I told Lewis he'd love because it's great for choose decks. Your choose 1 cards have both of their effects combined.
Yeah,
so
which is
Druid of the Claw. It's a charge 4/6 taunt.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see. It's basically Ascension but better in all aspects. And he always manages to mention back when I was creating the world tree in every conversation. Sheesh, enough already. It would be really good for my choose deck, my pro-choice deck.
Absolutely.
Anyway, after that, though, we have a 4 mana for 4/5, Klaxi the Amber Weaver. It has a battle cry. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain +5 health. Now, let me explain the Cthulhu mechanic. Every time your Cthulhu is in a deck and it gets buffed, it will pop up on the side, either on the lower end for you or the upper end for your opponent. It'll show you the buffs retroactively. So you don't have to keep track of it.
Wait, what? Okay.
What? Did you not get that?
I've never heard of this. So
well, it is a new mechanic. Okay, you know the Mist Caller basically?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I play Amber Weaver here. Cthulhu starts out as a 6/6. Let's say I play a couple of other minions that buff it up to at least 10/10. So now that he has that, I gain 5 health apparently on Amber Weave here because my Cthulhu has 10 attack. But other cards are like,
Okay, then.
Let's see. You have a Cthulhu in your deck somewhere. Give it taunt. So now it's a taunt. It'll show you as a taunt minion.
Wherever it is.
Yeah. Cthulhu is everywhere. What are you talking about? Cthulhu's the man. I remember running that raid so much. Anyway.
Alright. So the next card we've got is Mire Keeper, a 4 mana 3/3 with another choose 1 ability. You either summon a 2/2 slime or gain an empty mana crystal. So basically wild growth. Or a 2/2 slime.
I think for the most part, it'll be really good for either a buff druid or a ramp druid. Quite honestly, it's pretty good. It's better than Keeper of the Grove, quite honestly. Well, I mean, 2/4 for the sustain, but I like this.
I still love having Keeper for the silence.
Oh no, I'm thinking Grove. I'm thinking Grove Keeper, not Keeper of the Grove.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of the both players gain mana crystal or draw a card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was comparing it to. I mean, Keeper of the Grove is a 2/2 now, but it's still good. It's just a lot. It's gonna be a little easier to take down because it was annoying as a 2/4.
Yeah.
Why do I always get the weird name ones? Did we plan this? Anyway,
no, we did not.
For 6 mana, we have Dark Oracula. It's a taunt, and it also has a battle cry. Give your Cthulhu +3/+3 wherever it is. And it's 5/7. So pretty good value for a 6.
Yeah, I'd say.
I mean, I can't really say much more. It's pretty good value for what it is. The problem with Cthulhu decks, because I also made a Cthulhu deck while I was playing Standard, the problem is you're focused on just getting your buffs to your Cthulhu, and because of that, you play through your hand really fast. And you're also betting everything on drawing Cthulhu, unless you have the specific card to pull him out.
Exactly.
So it's either mulligan him and keep him in your hand, which could lose you the game, or have the perfect cards to get you Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Anyway, and moving on to the last card for Druids.
Alright, so the last card we have is a 7 mana choose 1 spell called Wisps of the Old Gods. You summon either 7 1/1 wisps, where you give all your minions +2/+2.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about this, considering, it's a 7 mana card.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the buffed up version of, what was it, Spirits of the Forest? I can't remember. I think it's 5 mana spell for Druid, but it's 5 Wisps and 1/1 for everything else.
Yeah, Dark Whispers.
Yeah, Dark Whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a buffed up version of that. I mean, this would probably be okay in, like, a mass buff Druid, getting that many Wisps out.
I honestly wouldn't consider using it because I still use cards like Power of the Wild.
Yeah, definitely Power of the Wild would be a lot more feasible in terms of cost.
Right, especially if you're playing some sort of zoo deck.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the flavor test, though. They're just normal Wisps. They're of the old gods, but is just marketing.
Yeah.
Because that's Blizzard. Give them your money. Alright, moving on to Hunters. Let me just erase all the blue here because it's hurting my eye. Alright, so we're starting off with Fiery Bat, a 1-mana minion for 2/1. It's a beast. It has Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So it's basically Elven Archer, but you can't control it. It's got 1 extra attack, and it's a beast, and it's Hunter specific.
Yeah, it's basically Flame Juggler, but with Death Rattle, and less cost, and less health.
Yeah.
And it's a beast.
Definitely from what I've seen out of the cards that I opened up and went up against in Standard, there is a huge emphasis on Death Rattle now. So, like, Death Rogue, Death Priest, Death Druid, Death Hunter, Feign Death Hunter, all the rogues. I mean, not all the rogues, all the Death Rattles, really.
Yeah.
Alright. So, moving on to the next one.
Alright, so the next card we have is a 1-mana hunter spell called On the Hunt. You deal 1 damage and then summon a 1/1 Mastiff.
Yep, and I don't think the Mastiff has charge.
No, otherwise it would say it.
Yeah, but I do like the flavor text. The Mastiff giggles if you don't hit any ducks. Good old duck hunt. Anyway, moving on to the next one, we have Carrion Grub. It's a bog standard card. We got a free mana for 2/5, and it's a beast.
Yep.
And it's a grub. You want to catch some grub?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Alright. We don't really have much to say about, like, vanilla cards like that, so...
Well, I mean, I can come up with something witty every now and then, I suppose.
So our next card is Forlorn Stalker. Costs 3. It's a 4/2. As Battle Cry, give all of your Death Rattle minions in your hand +1/+1. Also, I think this would be fun to use with Bran and Baron Rivendare in combination.
God. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
I gotta read.
I'd see like Bran and Baron Rivendare in like Feign Death Hunter decks. That'd be a lot of fun.
There's so many good combinations now. I have to have a spreadsheet now for my Death Comes Hunter now.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright, next one. Because,
Jesus.
Blizzard has to have it. We have a free mana hunter spell called Infest. Give your minions Death Rattle. Add a random beast to your hand. So basically, everybody becomes a web spinner.
A web spinner. What the hell?
Because why not? Everybody loves web spinner. The best part is the look on their face when you jump out of the cake. Air corpse.
That has so much value.
I know.
Really does.
It really does. Imagine having this and you throw out Feign Death and Rivendare.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you would fill your hand. You'd probably burn some things, but that'd be hilarious.
Jeez.
Oh.
Alright. Our next card is Infested Wolf. 4 mana, 3/3 with Death Rattle. Summon 2 1/1 spiders. Well, honestly, Haunted Creeper's better.
I kind of like this one, though. I mean, it's cost prohibitive, but it reminds me of a better Harvest Golem, plus with the stickiness of Haunted Creeper. And it has beast utility.
Yeah.
But then again, Haunted Creeper did have
also
too.
a beast.
Yeah, but in this case, it is actually spiders, so it could still be considered beast.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I haven't played with all the cards yet, so... I mean, I haven't... Like I said, I've played upwards about 40 rounds today, and once again, mostly Shaman, Overload, and Control Warriors. Occasionally, there was a Priest.
Yep. I'm just looking at this next card and I'm giggling.
Yeah. Is it my turn? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Why is that? Why do I always get the weird name ones? Anyway, 5 mana, 6/5. We have Princess Huhuran. Her battle cry is trigger a friendly minion's death rattle effect, and it's also a beast.
Time to have more fun with Brand Baron.
The combos are real. I actually had this used on me today. There's another card. It's a neutral, I think. Basically, it's a 4-mana 1/1, but when it dies, it summons a 5/5. So I had this hunter use this on it, so it summoned 2 5/5s.
Goodness.
And I was just like, wow, that just happened. I just lost.
Oh, goodness.
Alright, this is actually a pretty cool one, if expensive.
Yeah, this one seems kind of a bit expensive, but... Alright.
I mean, it's well worth it.
Yeah. Alright, so we got an 8-mana epic spell called Call of the Wild. You summon all three animal companions. So you get 4/4 Misha, 4/2 Huffer with charge, and 2/4 Leok. That gives all of your minions +1 attack.
I mean, that's got huge values, and also considering if you have a decently filled board with at least 4 minions out there. And also, I love the flavor text. Hello, Misha and Leok and Huffer aren't here right now, but if you leave a message, we'll get back to you right away. Beep. Gotta love it. I can imagine all 3 of them knocking about an apartment.
Yeah.
Alright. This is actually a really neat card right here. So I just recently got this in my last pack, and it's a 8-mana for 8/8, the Giant Sandworm. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again.
Well...
And it's also a beast.
Starting to sound more like Yu-Gi-Oh! Effects.
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, can you imagine, let's say you had Charging Rhino or Charging Tundra Rhino, had that out, throw this out, start killing all the little guys, and then whack them in the face for 8.
Oh, yeah.
This would be a nightmare for a paladin.
Yes, it would.
Or any, like, low attack zoo.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's move on to Mage.
Moving on to my favorite class, the Mage cards.
Yeah. I'm surprised I actually didn't get this first one, but go ahead.
So the first card we have is a 0-mana spell called Forbidden Flame. You spend all your mana, deal that much damage to a minion. So basically, if it's late game, you get a Pyroblast, and you get a Pyroblast.
Yeah, but a Pyroblast only for a minion.
Right.
I'd say it's good for a situational, removal. Like, you play a couple of cards, and then, hey, I have a really big target, or this target needs only this much, so you just kind of have to... It's an accounting card. You account for the damage. And I do like that. It is nice. Sometimes you run into the turns where you just have nothing to play. It's like, well, I'll just use hero power. It's like, we don't have that problem anymore. At least for some hero classes, anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so moving on, we have the Cult Sorcerer, a 2-mana free 2. Gives you additional spell damage, and after you cast the spell, give your Cthulhu +1/+1, wherever it is.
Again with the Cthulhu randomness.
It spirals out of control. It's like, to put it in perspective, it's the United States versus the USSR in a arms race to get your Cthulhu bigger.
Right, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like, I still need to see, like, how this whole Cthulhu mechanic's gonna work to really base an opinion on this.
We could do a match after our review, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Our next card is called Shatter, a 2-mana spell. Destroy a frozen minion. Here we go, Freeze Mage!
I honestly, bring the Freeze Mage back, please. Anything.
Yeah, Freeze Mage doesn't have a lot of support behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're finally giving it a little bit of love.
And that's actually really good, because there's another minion for the mages that does really well with Freeze, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
I can see this for Frost Mages, though.
I mean, what's cooler than being cool? Being me, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. You know, especially when you start turning into hyenas. That's the best. If anybody has watched my last Hearthstone video, you'll know that reference. Anyway, moving on, we have the Twilight Flamecaller, a free mana for 2/2 Battlecry. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions.
Again, Bran Bronzebeard.
You just love the brand Bronzebeard, man.
I do. I love it so much. Such
Uh,
a good card.
I mean, I can't really say much. It's basically, it's a nice little arcane explosion along with the minion.
But with a minion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for clearing a little nice board, or you want to finish off a troublesome target.
Yep.
Now, here's the one we were talking about.
Oh, goodness. I love him already.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So, we have a 4-mana 2/4 called Demented Frostcaller. After you cast a spell, freeze a random enemy. That's fun.
Yeah.
Bring back Freeze Mage.
And he prefers you to refer to him by his nickname, Frostwaker. So he's literally the complete opposite of the Flame Waker.
Flame Waker.
Except
yeah.
he freezes only one target. But,
Right.
I mean, it goes well with Shatter, though.
Yep, absolutely. Great synergy.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I don't see aggro Frost Mage being too huge, but
Yeah.
it would be good for, Tempo Mage.
Yeah.
And mages that can toss out a lot of cheap spells, start freezing a bunch of
Right.
things.
Right.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Well, I almost disenchanted this card. Moving on to the Kabbalist Tome. It's a 5-mana spell. Adds free random mage spells to your hand, because mage.
Oh, man.
Because mage.
Yeah, I love having random spells. I mean, I don't like Spellslinger because it gives your opponent one too.
Yeah.
But giving you 3 random spells and mage spells are fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This is also really good for, aggro mage. I hate to give you the idea, but this is good for
I know.
aggro mage because, you burn through your hand pretty fast and then you throw this out on turn 5 or maybe 4.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
That's fun.
All right, moving on to the next one. This is actually one of my favorites.
All right.
5 mana for 5/4. We have. Oh wait, it's your turn,
Yeah.
right?
A 5 mana for 5/4. We have the Servant of Yogg-Saron. Battlecry. Cast a random spell that costs 5 or less. Targets chosen randomly.
Mm-hmm. So potentially he can be throwing fireballs out there.
Exactly. That's interesting.
Yeah. Although
mean,
it says random spell, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's probably not
exactly.
class specific. For all
Right.
we know, it could cast taunt on the enemy.
Yeah.
All right, next one. We have the Faceless Summoner, a 6-mana 5/5 Battlecry. Summon a random free cost minion.
Interesting.
It's kind of
That thing-
going along with the Discover, but without the Discover.
Right. And you can combo
What was
with
that?
Bran.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be the brand episode.
Bran Bronzebeard.
I mean, you're not too far off. Almost every deck I ran against, with the exception of the Control Warriors, had Bran in it in some way or another.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
Well.
Yeah, this is actually a really cool one. I can't wait to put him into my decks.
All right. The last mage card we have is a legendary. Anomalous. An 8-mana, 8/6. Death Rattle. Deal 8 damage to all minions.
Exactly.
Why not? Let's blow up the board and clear the courtroom.
Well,
'Cause
I
it's
mean, because
short
no
board.
one was using Flame Leviathan. We need another better way to blow up the board.
Right.
And his name is short for a nom 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 nom
Nom
nomalist.
nom nom anomalous.
Nom. He's so nom.
So much nom.
All right, moving on to the Paladins. Paladins actually kind of a little lackluster. I mean, there's some interesting stuff, but it's kind of meh. Anyway, starting off with the Paladin, we have a 0-mana spell, Forbidden Healing. Spend all your mana, restore twice that much health.
Well,
Who wouldn't want that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes Reno, not as popular, I guess.
I mean, it's hard to pull off Reno. Most decks need to have multiple
Yeah.
copies.
Right.
I mean, unless you're
And
playing a
Forbidden-
full-on legendary deck.
Yeah, and forbidden healing would make it guaranteed. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're not jousting. There's no situation. You don't have to worry about spending too much mana for too little health.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could spend like, hey, I have nothing to do and I have 10 mana, 20 health.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that? All right, moving on.
Great. So the next card, it looks like we've got a complete ripoff of Holy Strength from Magic the Gathering.
Well, I mean,
I'll
isn't the
explain.
format?
No, I'll explain. All right.
Alright.
So we have Divine Strength, a 1 mana spell that gives a minion +1/+2. Now the Magic the Gathering reference. There's a card called Holy Strength that costs 1 mana that gives one of your creatures +1/+3. I mean, seriously?
Well, I mean, they do take numbers seriously. Actually, there was another card game that Magic had a lawsuit with. They had to change
Yeah.
all of their heroes' health because they had the number 20.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a thing. Plus, I mean, there's the
Right.
whole Blizzard using the formats.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will. Blizzard, I love you, but the format, quite honestly, I hate it. I just hate it. You just give me another reason to rage at the game. Anyway, moving on, we have the Selfless Hero, a 1 mana minion for 2/1. Has Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion Divine Shield. Works great in my Divine Shield deck, I would assume.
Yay! More Divine Shield nonsense.
There's a lot of
That's
that now,
fun.
actually.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
I don't like dealing with that.
Although I feel like Blizzard is kind of like playing the horn here. We have a female Drenary and a lot of tentacles, and the text is about tentacles. So, yeah. Feeding the fandom. There will always be a Goldshire.
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah, this is really good.
So the next card we have is a 1 mana, 1/3, Murloc, Vilefin Inquisitor. Battlecry, your hero power becomes summon a 1/1 Murloc. So really, really good with Murloc Tidecaller.
Yep.
I'd say.
Really
good synergy
Murloc Knight?
with Murloc Paladin, Murloc Knight.
Just Murloc
It's
in
just
general.
overall good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, nobody expects the Vilefin Inquisition.
Like, you're basically summoning a bunch of tiny fins that are buffed up.
Pretty much.
So, it's great.
I mean,
more love to Murlocs.
I mean, the only problem I see with this, though, is, like, if you run anything can happen, you could just potentially summon a bunch of 1/1s, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's probably not the Murlocs you were... These aren't the Murlocs you're looking for. I just came up with that. All right, anyway. Next up, we have a Light in the Darkness. Oh, you're going to love the next card, by the way. A little off topic. Anyway, this is a 2-mana spell. Discover a minion. Give it +1/+1.
Well, it's basically a 2-mana spell that lets you give a random minion a Mistcaller ability sort of thing. It just automatically gets a buff. I mean, that's pretty cool for a 2-mana spell.
Yeah, I mean, you get a free mana, and you get a buff. The only... Well, free a mana. Free minion.
Oh.
And
yeah, I gotta sneeze.
yeah, but the thing is, we don't know what minion's gonna come out. It could be potentially Deathwing. It will be a 13/13 Deathwing.
Yeah. Ugh.
Or it could be a 2/2 Leopard Gnome. You never know. Alright, so you're gonna love the next card.
Okay. Our next card is a weapon. I'm finally seeing a weapon.
Yeah.
It's a 3-mana, 3 attack, 2 durability, Battlecry. Give +1/+1 to your minions with Divine Shield. You're a dick.
Yes! Yes!
You're a freaking dick.
It's so divine.
We're moving on now.
Alright, moving on. We have Steward of the Darkshire, a 3-mana free. Whenever you summon a 1-health minion, give it Divine Shield.
Oh, come on!
Now let's... one moment. You should take notice of the phrasing here. Summon, not play. It could be the Paladin hero powers, if I'm reading it right.
So stupid. Stop it, Blizzard. Just
Yes!
stop it.
Divine Shield! Divine Shield's back!
Next! 5 mana stand against darkness. Summon 5 1/1 Silverhand recruits. Muster's still better.
Muster is still better for the cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, like, it has to be really buff heavy if you want to play this.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to play it with Quartermaster.
Right. Like, you need, like, the 10 mana to be like, oh, stand against darkness, and then Quartermaster, and then you have 3/3 recruits.
The one thing I do like about this card, though, is the Silverhand's mustache.
Okay.
I mean, look at that mustache. Look how well groomed it is, even though he's standing against the darkness.
Alright.
I mean, what? That wasn't the first thing you saw? Now, this was a pretty interesting one right here. Alright, so we have Ragnaros, the Light Lord. A 8 mana for 8/8. At the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damage-friendly character instead of throwing fireballs.
Okay, so
what happened?
It's a light well, but more expensive and better stats.
And it's Rag. So, what happens when you try to corrupt a corrupted Fire Lord? Double negative, insect!
Alright then.
I mean, you gotta.
I don't really have much of an opinion on that, aside from it being, you know, a better light well.
Praise Rag. That's all you need to know.
Moving on to the priest cards.
Oh, I've played this so much. It's great.
We have Forbidden Shaping. 0 mana spell. Spend all of your mana. Summon a random minion that costs that much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's the funny part. I wish I caught this on the recording. I was playing through Standard, and I had managed to play my Cthulhu, right? So, pretty awesome when you managed to finally get him out. And then the guy goes ahead and throws out the BGH and kills it. So I was pretty heartbroken. And then I was like, well, I'm going to lose now. I'll go ahead and play Forbidden Shaping. He summons Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And not just the 6/6. He comes with the same stats as when you buffed Cthulhu. So he had Taunt, and he had, I think he was a 16/16 Cthulhu. And it was pretty great. And they changed the emote. I think they replaced the Threaten with a wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, both of us were just like, wow. And then he conceded. It was great. Alright, so next up, we have a 2 mana spell called the Embrace the Shadow. This turn, you're healing...
Embrace the Shadow 891.
Yes. I would say go over to his channel, but you're mainly streamer now. So, anyway,
That's right.
This turn, your healing effects deal damage instead. So, it's pretty much a spell version of Akunai, but not shadow form.
Yeah.
It literally says for the flavor text, for when your Akunai Soul Priest call in sick.
Clever.
Yep.
Alright. So next, we have more Cthulhu buff cards.
Yep, this one's great.
We have the Hooded Acolyte, 4 mana, 3/6. Whenever a character is healed with your Cthulhu, +1/+1, wherever it is.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
I mean, as a priest, you're going to be healing a lot. The only problem with this, though, is you tend to run out of mana.
Yeah.
Because that was the problem with me. So most of the time, I played it just as a, because of its health buffer. But that was pretty much it. It's still pretty useful.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have a 4 mana spell called Shadow Word Horror. Destroy all minions with 2 or less attacks.
Bye, Paladin.
Yeah. Bye, Zoo with 2 or less. Oh. And especially Murlocs if we look at the card.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright. Moving on.
Now we have Shifting Shade. 4 mana, 4/3. Death Rattle. Copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. More Thieving Priest!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's cooler in the shade, but you're also more likely to get jacked.
He kind of looks like Batman a little bit.
Batman. Hello, Mr. Wayne.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Justice. Anyway,
Justice.
moving on, we have a 5 mana 4/5, the Darkshire Alchemist, Battlecry, restore 5 health. Yeah, it's alright.
So, it's okay for an average card.
But if you had Bran out, that would be 10 health.
Oh my god.
It doesn't sound as exciting as it does.
Because Healbot is still better.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Sam would like this one.
The next card. A 5 mana spell. Power word. Tentacles. Give a minion +2/+6.
Exactly. Because you're wrapped in a protective layer of tentacles.
I guess.
Once again, I reiterate, Sam would love this card for reasons that is inappropriate to say. Anyway, moving on. We have a 5 mana for 6/5, the Twilight Darkmender. Your battle cry is, if your Kafun has at least 10 attack, restore 10 health to your hero. See, that's
20
already...
health, Bran.
Yeah, 20 health with Bran. See, that's already way better than Darkshire Alchemist.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Alright, moving on.
Our last card is our legendary for the priest.
Mm-hmm.
The Herald Volage. Volage?
Yeah.
Whatever. 6 mana 5/5 battle cry. Summon a 1/1 copy of each of your other minions. Well...
It's alright.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is if you have, like, various effects on your minions that can be useful.
Yeah.
That, or you just need, just fill the board for no apparent reason.
Right. Like, if you're casting, like, a bunch of, like, Velen's Chosens and such like that, and you have additional spell damage, that'd be kind of interesting.
Spell damage and, stuff like, maybe... Oh, I was going to say Interfire. It's Holy Flame, is it?
Holy Nova?
No, not...
Holy Flame, yeah.
Yeah, the one
Holy
that does...
Fire.
Yeah, Holy Fire, that's it. I do like that his flavor Texas, his whole job is yelling, Yogg's Ron coming. It actually is a pretty... Once you see that particular legendary, he's actually really fun. You're going to love him. Alright, moving on to the rogues. We have...
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah. We have a Bladed Cultist, a 1 mana for 1/2. With a combo, you gain +1/+1.
I think I'm going to run that in my aggro rogue deck.
You run anything with combo, really.
Yeah.
Plus, it's low cost and it's good value. You get a 2 free for 1.
Yeah. It's basically Twilight Well.
Yeah, basically.
Except you don't need a Draken.
Yeah. You just need a combo, that's all.
Right. Alright. So, our next card, we have a 1 mana spell. Journey Below. Discover a Death Rattle card. So basically, it's Museum Curator for
Death
rogues.
Rattle. Yeah, and Rogue. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good Death Rattles out there. I mean, probably one of the good ones I could mention that's aside from Rogues is like getting Malorn into your Rogue Death Rattle. Or maybe even now Anomalous. Just blow up everything.
Or Unearthed Raptor,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, there's so many good choices. So, I mean, it'll be...
Yeah.
It's the web spinner of Death Rattles.
Yep.
It pretty much is. Anyway, moving on, we have the Undercity Huckster, a 2 mana for 2/2 Death Rattle. Add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class.
You know, at first I thought that said Undercity Hickster.
Hickster?
Yeah. Like, oh, he's such a hippie. I'm sorry, hipster, not Hickster.
I was going to say, what the heck is a Hickster?
Undercity Hipster.
I mean, if you look at it, if you take away the top part and the leg, it does kind of look like a P.
Yeah. Alright, so basically we have Burgle on a minion, except, one less card.
Pretty much.
Alright. Our next card, we have Shadow Strike. 3 mana, deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. Okay, so it's an improved backstab then.
It's way better, quite honestly,
Yeah.
because there's a lot
Yeah.
of minions out there that are really annoying to deal with.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Yeah.
the flavor text says it itself. It's like a backstab, only from the front, and with 2 more stabs.
Yeah, so basically we can improve upon, spell damage rogue.
Yeah. Malagos
So-
Rogue coming back, please. I would love to see that. Anyway, Jason, strike. Deal 5 damage.
Okay.
Alright, so next up, we have South Sea Squidface, a 4 mana
Oh,
for
a
4/4.
pirate.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of pirates into this, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. So the death rattle is give your weapon +2 attack.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they nerfed Blade Flurry, but still, that's pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, even with the nerf, I got destroyed by a Blade Flurry today.
Yeah.
It was not even. It was just like they managed to get Squidface out onto the board, and they. Oh, what did they do? I don't remember. Either way, Squidface died, gave their weapon +2 attack, and then I was just like, oh, he can't stop me now. Blade Flurry comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's still being used even though it's nerfed. No. I
A
thought
lot of cards are still being used even though they're nerfed.
Yeah,
so-
BGH, for example.
Yeah. Well, BGH, I mean,
It's still
I'm
good.
not really. Yeah, exactly. But we're not talking about that this video.
Yeah. Anyway, moving
Alright.
on.
Moving on, we've got our Rogue Legendary of this set. 4 mana, 3/2. Zeril, Poisoned Mind.
Mhm.
Battlecry and Death Rattle. Add a random Toxin card to your hand. I wonder what those are.
I'm assuming it's deadly poison, at the very least. I don't think it'll
Yeah.
be Tinker's Oil.
Yeah.
I mean, what other toxin card is, unless it's drawing from its
don't
own
know.
separate pool. I've actually,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen this played yet, but then again,
Yeah.
it's still too early on.
But of course, it's gonna have more synergy with the Bran and Baron combo.
Now, I particularly like this card. Alright, so we have a 5 mana 4/4 called the Shadowcaster. Her battle cry is choose a friendly minion, add a 1/1 copy of that to your hand, and now only cost 1 mana. Not to mention, I do love the design of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's say, I mean, especially if you're running a rogue Kafun deck, you're basically giving yourself a form of bounce. And now
Yeah.
you get a really inexpensive card for 1 mana. Even though it's weak, you get the effect, and that's what they're going for. At least that's what I'm
Right.
going for.
Yeah.
So I think it's well worth the 5 mana cost. What do you think? Eh?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Our next card.
We're going to
Yeah.
Britain land?
Yes. Pinky out, everybody.
Figure it out.
We have a 6 mana card called Thistle Tea. Draw a card. Add 2 extra copies of it to your hand. If there's some sort of way to manipulate your top card, this would be very useful. Otherwise, I'm
Yeah.
not really sure.
Quite honestly, I mean, I'm of the same opinion. It's really hard to know what's on top of your deck anyway,
Right.
unless you're like really low down on your deck. I
Right.
would honestly choose Sprint over Thistle Tea, because what if you
Me
draw
too.
like something like, I don't know, 2 backstabs?
Yeah.
Well, 3 backstabs actually. And then all the enemies all the enemy minions are already damaged. So it's like, well, what good is that gonna do? So I mean, it's kind of situational. I could see some people using it, but I think Sprint would be well worth it for the additional mana. All right, now last one. This is actually
Boy,
really
more
good.
Bran combos.
Yeah, more. This would be a really great with Bran.
Everywhere.
Here's the problem though. It's really
It's
cost
9 mana.
prohibitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 9 mana, 4/4, the Blade of Kafun, Battlecry, destroy a minion, add its attack and health to Kafun, wherever it is. And like the flavor text says, Kafun demands a sacrifice, preferably a Deathwing. Because, 12/12. Why not?
Right.
I mean, great in theory if you can manage it. I mean, Cthulhu decks actually, they are actually really lacking in the late game, surprisingly.
Yeah.
For me anyway, because I play really early game buff cards for Cthulhu. But this would be pretty good for, leading up to Cthulhu
Yeah.
if you have nothing else to play. But once again, it's rogue, so it's kind of limited. But
All
yeah.
right.
Moving on to
Moving
shamans.
on
You're going to
to
love the
shaman.
shaman cards. The shaman cards are great.
Yeah. All right. Our first card, we have a 1-mana spell called Evolve. Transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 more. So it's Lady
Narzia? Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Close enough.
Yeah.
The Naga.
It's that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't pay attention to women.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sexist. They're not appealing to me.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's
let's
basically
move on
her
from
effect.
Let's move on from the awkwardly sexist topic.
Yeah, it's basically her effect for one mana. I mean, ideally this would be pretty good, but like her effect, it could be completely random. So you never know. So the next card, we have a 1-mana spell as well for a shaman. It's called Primal Fusion. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. So great for totem decks.
Wow. So it's basically that thing that had Battle Cry that gets +1/+1 for each totem you control.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except in a spell. That's pretty cool.
And 1 mana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good.
I think totem decks are going to be a lot of fun now.
Well, I mean, like I said, from the sampling I had today of all the shamans, mostly Overload shamans, and the Overload totem shamans in particular, Primal Fusion destroyed me.
Yeah.
Just like, out of nowhere, 2 Primal Fusions. I was like, oh. Oh, that happened. And he had Wind Fury, too. He had Wind Fury.
Yeah, like Wind Fury and Primal Fusion. Oh my god.
Yeah. Now,
that's gonna be fun.
The next card is pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Our next card is Eternal Sentinel, 2 mana, 3/2 Battle Cry. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals. Oh boy.
Yep.
It's more cards like Lava Shock, except
with a minion.
With a minion. Yeah.
Must be hell for him. Must be hell for him to get his glasses prescription right, though. I should know. You're gonna love the card after this one, because that's the card that destroyed me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next up, we have a 2-mana spell called Stormcrack. Deal 4 damage to a minion, overload 1. It's actually really good. It's really accurate to have that exact 4 damage, and you can target, and it only overloads you for 1 for 2 mana. That's great.
Right. It's basically Flame Cannon, except you can control it.
Yeah, with the overload. But honestly, and this is my slightly biased opinion here, Blizzard, really, Shaman was stacked in this expansion. Seriously. I don't even know. I mean, look at the next one. There's a hyena.
We have Flame Wraith Faceless, a 4-mana 7/7 with Overload 2. Thank you, Blizzard. I love you. I've already got 2 of them. Thank you.
Same here. I mean, I got wrecked like turn 4 because of this. Because they coined out the Flame Reef on turn 3.
Oh. I think I'm gonna replace unless I'm running Bran, I think I'm actually gonna replace Fireguard Destroyer with him.
Fireguard's okay though.
Yeah.
I would replace Earth Elemental if you're running it.
Nah, I love Earth Elemental a lot, as you can see.
Anyway, next up, we have the Master of Evolution. He must evolve a lot of Pokemon. Anyway, he has 4 mana for 4/5. His battle cry is transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more.
Again, Lady Nazjar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in the flavor text, will be really useful in the new Hearthstone game.
Alright then, Blizz.
He is the rare candy.
Alright. So, for next card, we got the legendary for Shamans. 5 mana, 4/6. Halaziel the Ascended. Whenever your spells deal damage, restore that much health to your hero. That's fun.
Well, I mean, considering it's actually pretty cheap for what it is, and its effect is really great. Especially if you're running Spell Shaman, this would be great. I mean, you don't even have to run Spell Shaman anymore. What with some of the damage spells, like Stormcrack. That's great. Now,
fantastic.
Now, I'm actually quite jealous of this one because Shamans always get the interesting weapons. You know, they get that one weapon that once you break it, it has the Death Rattle that turns your hero power into deal 2 damage now. Well, now we have a 5 mana weapon called the Hammer of Twilight. It is a 4/2, and the Death Rattle is summon a 4/2 elemental. Stop! It's Twilight Hammer time!
That's a good flavor text.
You gotta love what they come up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like I said, though, I'm really jealous of Shaman weapons because they're always so interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this is great.
Okay. So right now, we're dipping into the thug life with the thing from down below in Ghetto Town. 6 mana, 5/5 with Taunt. Costs 1 less for each totem you've summoned this game. So you can get a 5/5 Taunt for free.
Potentially, yes.
Seriously?
I've had 2 of these drop down on me.
Oh my god.
It was a nightmare.
Remind me to make a totem deck.
I told you, totem decks are strong. And right now, I'm telling you, it's New Kid Totem Overload deck for Shamans.
Yeah.
And right now, they're wrecking house.
Jesus.
Alright, moving on to the Warlock cards. I was sadly not that many interesting ones for me. They're really zoo-oriented, but we'll get to that. And this is a really good example of that. Forbidden Ritual for 0 mana, spend all your mana, summon that many 1/1 tentacles.
I mean, you only
need 7. Yeah, you only need 7. But this is really good for, like, let's say you had 5 mana left, and technically, alright. What I was thinking is, like, set this up, you get Forbidden Ritual out, you have Bran, and then you throw down Reliquary Seeker.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, you could manipulate it so that you could pop your Reliquary Seeker.
You don't, I mean, it's a waste if you throw it on 10 mana. I mean, unless you have nothing else to play. But seriously. And K'Flynn gives his full support for this ritual. You know, make Warlocks great again. Not like they haven't already with their zoos and, you know, stuff.
Alright. Looks like we got a generic Warlock card here, sorta.
Not really.
The Possessed Villager. 1 mana, 1/1, Death Rattle. Get a 1/1 Shadow Beast. I mean, seems pretty generic to me.
Yeah, but it goes along with a sticky zoo board.
Yeah.
You're keeping, you know, something to throw out there. Plus,
right.
I mean, it's in a way kind of like Dreadsteed. Throw a Mortal Coil at it for a free card. You still have a 1/1 on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next up is the Darkshire Librarian, a 2 mana for 3/2 battle cry. English battle cry. Discard a random card. Death Rattle. Draw a card. Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah,
it's all right if it was in a discard Warlock, but even then, discard Warlock is really iffy because, you know, there's only so many ways you can control discard.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got wrecked by this card earlier today, by the way.
Okay. So, we have Renounced Darkness, a 2 mana replace your hero power and warlock cards with another class's. The cards cost 1 less.
Mm-hmm. So, take this into account. Let me tell you my experience of when I got wrecked by this card by a Warlock. Warlock comes in. Turn 1. Coins into Renounced Darkness. Replaces hero power with Druid. And assumably the rest of his entire deck into Druid cards. Because I'm assuming that his entire deck was built out of Warlock cards. Followed that, he gets... The next turn he plays... So at 2 mana... He plays Innervate into Astral Communion. From Astral Communion, and remember, this is all 1 mana less because the Renounced Darkness. From that point, he plays Ironbark Protector, then Ancient of Lore, then another Ironbark Protector, and then a bunch of Druid buff cards, and destroys me on turn 5. Oh no, turn 6 or 7, somewhere along that. I got destroyed. I kind of wish I recorded the whole time of me raging at the standard format quest, but it would be too salty, and I don't know if I could have handled that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next? Which one?
Your go.
Oh, yeah. All right, so next up we have a free mana minion for 1/5, the Darkshire Councilman. After you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. Democracy in action.
I like it.
Yeah, good for zoos.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I mean, does it stack?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, imagine throwing this down and then Forbidden Ritual.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. All right, next up.
That's cool. We have Spreading Madness, 3 mana, deal 9 damage, randomly split among all characters. All right, Matter Bomber.
Yeah, we just have free Mad Bombers out there. No one is safe.
Jesus.
Yep. Next up, we have the Usher of Souls. And don't mistake her cute demeanor here. She's a 5 mana, 5/6. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give your Kafun +1/+1. Wherever it is.
Sure, why not? Give more classes the ability to run Cthulhu decks.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the intent. Kafun is equal everywhere. In this case, the Warlock kind of got the raw end of the deal. It's like, sacrifice more things in order to power Kafun.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is like, hey, if you show up today, you don't have to worry about getting a mark on your perfect attendance. All right, next one is actually really cool.
Oh, excuse me. I had to burp. Anyway,
Go ahead.
We have our Warlock legendary of this set. Cho'Gall, a 7 mana, 7/7 battle cry. The next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana. Well, I mean, I'm kind of iffy about it because, especially if you're in like a fast-paced game, and like, you know, how you lose health so fast.
Yeah.
And this thing's 7 mana.
Yeah, I mean, it's situational, definitely.
Right.
But, I mean, I can see some uses for it. Let's say you don't have the mana, you know, for a certain spell, like, you need to use Siphon Soul. Like, you need to use it. It's like 6 health in return for getting, what, 3 to 5 health? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played Siphon.
3.
3? So that's pretty half off right there, and you destroyed a minion. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it also kind of works along with, you know, Molten Giant. Molten Giant did get nerfed, so it costs 25 mana now.
Yep.
So you have to be down to like 5? Yeah, I think so.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely say Cho'Gall is very situational, but, you know, I still see uses for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like this one.
Go for it.
All right. I mean, I just did one, but okay.
No, because you like it. Go for it.
All right. So, our last Warlock card, we have 10 mana. Doom!
Doom!
Destroy all minions. Draw a card for each. That's fun.
Yeah,
That's a board wipe and advantage all in one.
yeah. Although I wonder, does it mean for both players? I think it just means you.
Wait, I don't know. Maybe.
That's what I'm a little confused about. I mean, normally they would
Right.
say both players draw as many cards as minions are destroyed, but I'm assuming
Hmm.
this is only for you.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, another reason, 10 mana. I mean, that is pretty costly, but let's say you ran through your hand pretty fast,
Hmm.
so it'd be good. Could be good. And Doom is always good. Doom. Anyway, moving on to Warrior. First off, we got a 1 mana spell from the Warrior. It is Blood to Ichor. Deal 1 damage to a minion. If it survives, summon a 2/2 slime. Pretty good.
Okay, so we basically have slam, except you get a minion.
Yeah.
All right,
It's good
sure, why
for...
not?
Yeah.
Good for sort of damage control sort of decks, I guess.
I'd say it's a tempo move. Yeah.
Right.
Alright. Next up.
All right. So we have Enzoth's first mate. A pirate for warriors?
Warriors had pirates.
Okay.
I mean, the two main pirate users are... Well, three, actually. Pirate Paladin, Pirate Warrior, Pirate Rogue.
I only saw pirate rogue, so all right, we have a 1 mana 1/1 battle cry, equip a 1/3 rusty hook.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of generic.
It's alright. It's good for early game. Like, you get an extra weapon and you got a minion out on the board.
Hmm.
It's not the best, but, it's good. Blood
Oh my
Warriors.
gosh.
Yes. 3 mana spell, Blood Warriors. Add a copy of each damaged friendly minion to your hand.
What the hell? Battle rage on crack.
Pretty much.
That's fun.
Yeah. Imagine having this on a full board after you like whirlwinded or something.
Hmm. Okay. More pirates.
Hmm.
How about that?
I'm telling you, warrior pirates have been a thing longer than warrior rogue.
Never seen them.
Well,
Oh, I've
because
only seen
the decks
pirate
tended to
rogues.
fall apart in the before goblins and gnomes.
Yeah. Right, we have Bloodsail Cultist. 3 mana, 3/4, battle cry. You control a pirate. Give your weapon +1/+1.
Hmm.
I mean, sure, pirates are all about giving weapons and buffing them.
Yeah.
So why not?
Well, I mean,
And brand combos.
the original idea with pirate warrior was always about weapon warrior, basically. You
Yeah.
had stuff like Dread Corsair, so it'll be a free taunt. You get a free taunt for free if you had a fiery war axe out.
Yep.
And it was pretty much like solo warrior, which is the gimmick of you are a warrior with basically no minions that does minion things, but it's minions supporting you.
Hmm.
So this is pretty much along those lines. That's why, pirate warrior was never really a thing, but it was around.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we have the Ravaging Ghoul. 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry. Deal 1 damage to all other minions. I gotta say,
Right.
this would have been great in the Grim Patron days.
Exactly. But he goes by the Ravishing Russian. I mean, Ghoul, when he hits the club.
Oh, yeah.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
The ladies can't stand. They have to have.
Alright. Anyway,
Alright.
we have Bloodhoof Brave. 4 mana, 2/6. Taunt and Enrage, +3 attack. Okay, so it's Tauren Warrior, but better.
Pretty much.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I could see this being in play.
Yeah, me too.
It actually has survivability.
Yeah, I could see it in like taunt bolster sort of warrior decks.
Yeah. Now this one is my personal favorite. 5 mana weapon, Tentacle for Arms. It's a 2/2, and it has a death rattle. Return this to your hand.
Sure, why not?
There is no way to silence a death rattle on weapons. Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
So, assuming this is late game, this is what I'm assuming. You'll have plenty of mana in the late game if you're not
Mm-hmm.
throwing down too much. So, that's an additional 2/2 that you're throwing out there. Plus, it's a weapon you can't destroy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, if it was like returned to your deck on top of your deck, that could be annoying.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Moving on.
So we have the Ancient Shield Bearer. 7 mana, 6/6. Battle Cry. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, gain 10 armor. Cause why the fuck not?
Because
We need more armor for warriors.
Kafun. Already, we're seeing Kafun control warrior, by the way. They're running this like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Shield Bearer, but 1+ on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the Kafun. Alright, and moving on to
Look,
the...
it's Blingtron.
Yes, it's a useful Blingtron. Kinda. I debate that.
Unless you get Cursed Blade.
Yeah, I debate this. Anyway, 7 mana, 6/5, legendary warrior card. Battle Cry. Equip a random weapon, because that's how Malkarak rocks.
I just gave my opinion. It's Blingtron. It's Blingtron.
Pretty much. It's a more expensive Blingtron without giving your enemy a weapon and possibly giving him a gore howl that could win the game.
Yeah.
Alright, that's pretty much all of the class specifics.
Yep. That
So,
is all the class specifics.
Next time
So
we'll move on to the neutral stuff.
Yep.
Because we have been running pretty long on this. Because there are quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little deviation from our usual Hearthstone videos. I don't know if this is going on your end. Is it?
No, it's not.
All right, so it's just been on my end.
I don't make videos anymore. So.
Yeah, Jason's moved on to streaming because he's too good for YouTube. Too good for YouTube.
It's not that. You know my reasons. I'm not going to disclose them.
I know, but I mean, you are too good for YouTube. Are you gonna lie about that? I thought so. Anyway, so that's pretty much gonna be it for Hearthstone. I'd say fun with friends, but this is review with friends. But I'm not making a separate series for this.
Review with friends. It was my idea.
Yes, it was Hearthstone. Jason's idea. Copyright. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe for more. We hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Laters.